And really, this Salute to Business breakfast is something we're doing annually. Just myself, I'm Don Klein, president of the Great Lakes Group for Mercy Health, and also chairman of the Regional Chamber. We look forward to this event each year and are honored to continue the tradition of saluting businesses and business leaders in our valley. We will present 6 awards to 8 individuals today and also recognize companies that are celebrating milestone anniversaries. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to officially kick off the 173rd Canfield Fair and then ask Youngstown State's head football coach, Bo Pelini, to preview the season. We are also pleased to welcome to the Valley our keynote speaker from the great state of Ohio, his first speaking engagement here in Youngstown since becoming governor in January. But first, I'd like to begin today's festivities by introducing our head table to my left. So Jessica Smith, Lance Romeo and Jeff Curry, co-owners of Sheely's Furniture and Appliances, are Small Business Professionals of the Year. James DeCenzo, principal at HBK Consultants and CPAs, our Business Professional of the Year. Ted Schmidt, regional president, PNC Financial Services Group, our Salute to Business breakfast sponsor. Bill Keel, AFL-CIO Labor Liaison at the United Way of Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley, our Salute to Labor Achievement Award recipient. And Rocky DeGennaro, President of the Western Reserve Building Trades, our Salute to Labor Achievement Award presentation sponsor. To my immediate right, our keynote speaker, the Governor of the State of Ohio, Mike DeWine. James Dignan, President and CEO of the Youngstown Warren Regional Chamber. Bridget Kennedy, President of Ursuline Ministries, our Nonprofit Professional of the Year. Mark LaMancha, President of Hometown Products, our Entrepreneur of the Year. And Mike Conway, Executive Director of the Mahoning Valley Economic Development Corporation and our Business Advocate of the Year. This weekend is always an exciting one in the Valley. Once again, it looks like we're blessed with a great start to the weather for the fair, and we are fortunate to have the largest county fair in the state, right here in the Mahoning County. It's an annual tradition for many of us to spend time there and enjoy the great food and fun. So let's now help kick off this year's Canfield Fair with a warm welcome for the Canfield Fair Board, represented by David Dickey.
Congratulations, all the award winners. It's always great to see all of our friends out here get honored for all the good things they do. As you know, for two years ago, we embarked on a capital campaign to build a junior fair and event center on the fairgrounds that will impact the whole Mahoning Valley. How will it impact the area? This facility will provide our community with a multitude of venues for horse shows, medical shows, RV shows, garden shows, home and garden shows, dog shows, car shows, and all these shows will bring to the Valley. These people who come to these shows will bring to the Valley will need every service that is provided by all of you in this room. So we're very happy with that. Even though we have a groundbreaking on September 25th for Phase 1, we have not achieved our goal. So we need your support and, of course, your money. You know I wouldn't forget that. Now let's talk about the best 6 days of summer. This building will house our junior fair, and I don't know if all y'all have probably been there for a while, and you've seen our harness racing, our mule racing, and this year we have wiener dog racing. So it's hard to get in those saddles. Woody Woolman, he's a little tall and he's got too long of legs, but it's pretty cool. We have over 25 exhibits on the grounds for the junior fair. And have you ever tried the fat-burning foods at the fair? They're awesome. You can't, and how can you resist the lemonade? But our shows this year include the Demo Derby on Friday, Tractor Pull on Saturday, Pentatonics on Sunday, and there still are some tickets left for Pentatonics too. And then we have Gabriel Iglesias Fluffy on Monday. Again, at the 173rd Canfield Fair, we will provide Miles of Smiles. And thank you, Chamber.
Thank you so much, David, for joining us, along with the members of your board, and somehow making the fair even bigger and better each year for the hundreds of thousands who attend. We wish the best for a memorable and successful and continued good weather for the week. In addition to the fair, many of us will be attending or following Youngstown State football season this year. Last weekend, for those that were watching a televised game, team kicked off the season with a very impressive win against Sanford last Saturday, and their home opener against Howard is this coming Saturday, actually September 7th, so next Saturday, getting ahead of myself. Team will be playing under the direction of head coach Bo Pelini, who returned to the Valley 5 years ago to take the helm with the Penguins. Please welcome Coach Pelini to tell us about this season's team and what he looks for.
Thanks, Don. Usually when I come to talk to you, it's at this time of year, we're getting ready to open the season. We had the opportunity to go down on ESPN and showcase our football team and our university on ESPN last Saturday, and it was a good start to the season. It was, for a first game, I thought it was a heck of a start and gave us some national exposure, which is great for recruiting and really for our whole area. So we really were excited about that opportunity and took advantage of it, and really like this football team. Think we have a chance to be to do a lot of great things. We're healthy right now, where the kids are working hard, and we really spent a large portion of the offseason, obviously, along with the hard work they put in, trying to get our kids to understand even deeper, the kids from not only the area, but more importantly, the kids from outside the area, of understanding what Youngstown's all about. The work ethic, the grit, the determination, the values that all of you embrace every single day, and what makes Mahoning Valley and Trumbull County, the whole area, tremendous, and what is the history and everything that goes along with Youngstown, Warren, and the surrounding areas. And our kids have bought into it. I think they're embracing those values right now. They're working hard, and I think they're going to represent not only the university and each other and the community the way we should. And I think I ask for your help. I ask for your, we're not going to be able to build this program into what we want it to be and be consistent about it until we start filling up that stadium again. And we're going to do our part on the field, I promise you. And we need to get, spread the word, get the people out. Let's get excited and come out and support not only our football team, but all the student athletes down at Youngstown State. We're getting ready to, I think we're right in the process of, we're going to have 500 student athletes, that we added a couple of sports over the last year. We're going to have over 500 athletes on our campus, and that's the second biggest athletic department in the state of Ohio once that's all complete. And President Trussell has made a huge effort as far as trying to get that done, as far as trying to continue to build our athletic department and our university and all the great things that are going on down there. You come down there and you see the Don Constantini Multimedia Center down, which is attached to the stadium now, and all the building and construction that's going on down there. There's tremendous things going down at Youngstown State, and football team is, we're front and center of the whole thing, and we want you all to be a part of it and a part of the great things that Youngstown State represents, because we're trying to represent this area the way it needs to be represented. That's with class, hard work, and determination in everything we do. Our kids embrace it, and I hope you guys embrace what we're all about and come out and support our kids. So I appreciate you being here, and I'm honored once again to be the head coach of Youngstown State, and I can tell you myself, our staff, the administration, we're doing everything we can to represent it the right way. Thank you very much, and go Penguins.
Thank you, Coach Bellini, and certainly we wish you and the Penguins the best this season. I'd also like to welcome back and thank for their long-term support for this event two of our sponsors. The PNC Financial Group has been a Salute to Breakfast sponsor for 10 years, while the Western Reserve Building Trades has been on board for 11 years. We are grateful for all that they do for our organization, and I'd like to recognize and thank PNC Regional President Ted Schmidt and the Trades President Rocky DeGennaro for their ongoing commitment and generosity to the Chamber. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. Ted Schmidt to the podium for his remarks.
Thank you. Before I start remarks, could I have everybody please stand and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now we're just proud to be up here sponsoring this event for its 9th consecutive year, and we support the Chamber because of all the great effort that James and his team puts together. Without their leadership and regarding economic development, this valley would not be thriving the way it is today. I also want to thank everybody in the room for supporting PNC. We had a great year, and without your prosperity and success, we would not be successful either. And lastly, I just want to thank all of our award recipients. Their hard work and dedication is really a commitment to the Valley, and we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ted, and to all those at PNC for your long-term support. Rocky DeGennaro will be assisting with our Salute to Labor Achievement Award presentation a little later in the program. But to Rocky and all those who support us from the trades, thank you again for all that you do and for being here with us this morning. Before we begin our awards presentations, I'd like to take a few moments to recognize some very special companies and organizations that are in attendance. It is remarkable that so many businesses in our valley celebrate milestone anniversaries each year, and we're terming that as 5-year or increments of 5. And these are all companies that have chosen to call Youngstown Warren Region home, whether it's in the last 25 years or the last 100 years. We are proud to salute those businesses that are marking 25 years or more today, and many of those are here with us this morning. I would like to thank their owners, their associates, management, and hundreds of others that they impact in our valley for the longevity, their success, their commitment, tremendous talent, and significant contributions to our communities. To the 17 companies that are here today, on behalf of the staff, board, fellow members, and the entire community, congratulations. I would also like to ask those who are present for these companies to stand as you are introduced and remain standing until we get through all 17, and then we'll hold our applause until the end. So, jumping in. This year, Mercy Health, Akron Children's, and Home Savings Bank are 3 organizations celebrating 130 years or more serving the Valley and our surrounding communities. So if anybody from those organizations can stand. With 125 years, Columbiana Boiler Company. With 100 years, Adolph Johnson and Son Company and the United Way of Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley. Celebrating 70 years, the Cafaro Company and Hill, Barth, and King. Marking 60 years, Elm Tree Catering, Humtown Products, and Mayo and Associates. With 50 years, Builders Association of Eastern Ohio and Western PA, the Eastwood Mall, Raphael's School of Beauty Culture, Inc., and Venture Plastics. Hospice of the Valley, celebrating 40 years this year, and celebrating 25 years, Innovation Exhibits, Prodigal, and Veterans Outreach. Can we please give these companies a round of applause? And we do have certificates over on the table to present to all of you on the table near the exit. If you just want to stop on your way out, just once again, another token of our appreciation for all you do for the Valley. It's now my distinct honor to begin the awards presentation portion of our program. We interviewed our honorees on camera to capture many of the reasons why we are saluting them today and we will share those videos with you. But I did want to note that their bios are included in your programs as well, so you can read about their great contributions and careers as well in the program. So to get us started, our first honoree, the Business Professional of the Year, we recognize for his strategic leadership that has resulted in national growth and recognition for HBK, CPAs, and consultants. Please turn your attention to the screens to meet James DeCenzo, Principal.
I was fortunate enough when I got out of college to be able to land a job with a great firm in my hometown and not have to go too far, and we have grown tremendously since then. And I've been very fortunate to work with people in those 31 years that have taught me a lot and guided me and shown me the way. So I think the one thing that we have throughout the entire firm, and we always have had, is great people. The leadership of our firm has always strived to be the best, and we've always looked towards the future and continued growth. And you know, I look back in my 31 years, what our capabilities were when I started versus what our capabilities are now, and they're vastly different. And we've been able to accomplish that through internal growth, through training, through letting people do what they're good at, encouraging that, and promoting the growth. We have a great group of younger folks coming up, so I can only see continued growth. I hope that as they move up, continues to invest in the community and be a part of the communities that we're in, because that's something that HBK's always been very strong in promoting. As a firm, we've always advocated that our people be active and involved in the community, that we be a good corporate citizen, that we become involved in civic boards, charitable boards, different trade associations, and help the community. I've had a great 31 years here at Hillbarth & King, and hope to have a few more. And I know that when my time comes and I'm ready to go, that I'll turn it over to some really great people that we've developed and have come up through the firm. So looking forward to that too.
Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate our 2019 Business Professional of the Year, James DeCenzo.
Good morning. Excuse me. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It's a great turnout, and this is always a great event, and we always look forward to it. I'm extremely humbled and grateful to have been the recipient of this award. And those that know me best know that I'm not often humbled, so thank you. I appreciate it. But really, when I was first informed of it, it was a great honor, but it's not just me. Like I mentioned in my video interview, there's so many more people that are responsible for this, you know, and I'm a firm believer that a community grows people. And I started out with great parents, a great family at home. I have my beautiful, extremely intelligent wife and 2 kids who have put up with all these years of Dad not being home, and really supported me through it. I have a great support group of friends. I've probably got the best group of lifelong friends ever. So there's so many people that I think I owe that are responsible for this. You know, I go back to St. Brendan's, Ursuline, YSU, so many people that have set great examples, and I've just followed that. When I was younger, I played a lot of sports, and while I was never very good, I was always very fortunate to have a lot of really good people around me. And I see that in my career also. When I came out of college in 1987, there must have been a lot of jobs available because I had a lot of opportunities to leave town, and I ended up choosing HBK and stayed in town. And as I mentioned, I was so fortunate because I've had a great run, worked with a lot of really good people. A lot of my partners are here now, have been great, and have helped me. Some of the people who aren't here that I learned from, specifically Bob Wagmiller, Phil Koch, and Tom Poole, Rick Keys, Mike Craig, guys that I learned from. Hopefully I'm imparting some of that upon our younger folks too, and I think I am. Some of our younger folks are here today. So I think there's a lot of good things coming, and hopefully I have done my part in being a good teammate and surrounding myself with really good people. So I am, again, very honored, very thankful. I appreciate it, and that's all. Thanks.
Thank you, James, for your significant ongoing contributions and to your investment in our community, as well as helping making it an even better place to live, work, and play. Our next award, Business Advocate of the Year, we present to an individual who has spent much of his career helping communities thriving. It's actually not me. An individual who has spent much of his career helping communities achieve thriving and sustainable economies, including right here in our region through his work with the Mahoney Valley Economic Development Corporation. Let's learn more about its Executive Director, Michael Conway.
I've been involved in economic development for about 35 years in various capacities. And as we get later into my career, it's more of a leadership management position. But I've worked in Cleveland, I've worked in Buffalo, in Wisconsin, in rural Maine, and rural New York State up in the Adirondacks. And when I saw that there was an opportunity to come back to Northeastern Ohio and do some good work for a good organization, I jumped at the opportunity, and the rest is history. What MEVDEC's mission is, it's to make projects happen by providing, for the most part, capital into a gap that exists in a project. Mom and pop grocers want to start a grocery store on the corner and can get a bank loan, but the bank loan is insufficient to bring the project to reality. So it will go to an organization like MEVDEC to secure additional capital to make the project happen. So in a sense, it's like a pump primer, making good deals or marginal deals more attractive. A hot button for us right now is local food. There's certain areas of the city that are what are called food deserts. And we think an appropriate place for us to be involved in that is to provide capital to help with the local food movement so that folks are eating good food. And of course, the advantage of that is that the family structure improves, academics improve, health quality improves, and it's a spiraling upward. It's not necessarily the 100-employee factory that comes in and creates jobs. It's one job at a time. And although we like to help the big ones too, we primarily focus on the smaller businesses. It's incremental, and it's not headline grabbing necessarily, but it does have a profound impact on the local economy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting our 2019 Business Advocate of the Year, Mr. Michael Conway.
Good morning. I'll echo James's feelings about receiving such a tremendous award, and honored and humbled for sure. I can't accept this award solely by myself. It's not for me. Any good work that we've done in the Valley over the past 9 years or so to help improve the economy is simply because we have a very strong and professional team at MEVDEC. And I'd like the team to stand up, please, and be recognized for their efforts. These folks do the heavy lifting for us in various capacities, and I have to say that I would not be here today but for them. And so I say thank you, team, and thank you again for the award.
And thank you, Michael, for your constant support of our community. He always dives right in to help solve problems, and we appreciate all that you and your team do. We next present our Nonprofit Professional of the Year Award to an impressive individual who has worked tirelessly over the past couple of decades to help thousands of individuals and families in our valley through her work with Ursuline Ministries. Please turn your attention to the screens once again to hear more from the organization's president, Bridget Kennedy.
I have always found meaning in being able to start programs, identify a need, problem solve around addressing the need somehow, finding the resources to do it. And I've been blessed by the leadership of the community, the Ursuline Sisters, to be able to do that work always from the very beginning, over 20 years ago. But the difference between then and now is probably that over 20 years ago when I started, I was much more hands-on. You know, I did the tutoring of the child or helping somebody get benefits assistance, helping them fill out the applications, or helping with a roof tear-off. You know, I was in the mix. And so as I started to take on more administrative roles, that was difficult for me to pull back from some of those jobs, because I found great meaning and inspiration in that kind of direct work and seeing the results, seeing the child learn to read, seeing the person get on health insurance, seeing the new roof. But I realized that every person in the organization and every task that all of us do contributes to the end result. And once I really understood that, you know, whether you're answering a phone, managing investments, unclogging a toilet, you have the same impact really that a teacher or social worker or nurse has. Once I realized that, once I really believed that, it was much easier for me to find meaning across whatever it was I was doing. The trick really, I think, in this new era is to say we don't have to be everything for all people. We don't have to do it all. We don't have to start the program and run the entire program. What we can bring to projects, what we can bring to the community, it is equally important, if not more important, because together we can accomplish a lot more than any of us can as individual agencies. And so whether that's, I've done some consulting work, we've also, we've got some projects in the works to address some pretty serious community needs with 8 or 10 community partners. That's the kind of work that excites me. That's the kind of work I think where Ursuline Ministries really can contribute to the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in saluting Bridget as our Nonprofit Professional of the Year.
I want to thank the Chamber for this award and all of you for coming out so bright and early to celebrate the honorees and our valley. And a recurring theme here, I accept this award gratefully, but on behalf of Ursuline Ministries, on behalf of our board members and management team members, many of whom are in this room, and on behalf of the Ursuline Sisters and our lay associates, employees, and volunteers, we thank you. I want to applaud the Chamber for including a nonprofit among your annual awards, because nonprofits need to meet all of the same requirements that any other business does. Hire, train, and keep quality staff, market ourselves to the community, manage investments, balance the budget, and of course provide services. And we have an added responsibility to mission, to the mission for which we were created, and to the vision and values that guide that mission. A moment ago, I said I accept this award on behalf of Ursuline Ministries. We are social workers, counselors, nurses, bookkeepers, and grant writers. We are teachers from preschool to grad school. We are the living Ursuline sisters and all those who've gone before us. We serve in clinics, hospitals, parishes, at a labyrinth, at a homeless shelter, and at a swimming pool. We provide for hungry children, scared immigrants, lonely seniors, and first-generation college students. We care for children and adults living with HIV, for families torn apart by a divorce, and for clients struggling with addiction. We minister where poverty, mental illness, grief, trauma, violence, and every other kind of disadvantage, and in some cases, utter brokenness, would otherwise prevail. We wash dishes, we answer phones, drive vans, cook meals, and sweep floors. And we pray. We are Ursuline Ministries. And on our good days, and there are so many of those, we provide real hospitality and inclusion. We serve with radical compassion. We respect and honor and find the face of God in the person in front of us. And we give hope. And we can't do that without you, without the business community, without our nonprofit community partners, without the little old ladies who faithfully send us $2 every month, and without the big grants from foundations and the government. We can't do it without you. You join us in mission. And this kind of affirmation of the value of our work lifts us. And so we thank you.
No, and thank you, Bridget, for all the efforts that you and the Ursuline Ministries have done in the past years, current year, and going forward. It is so important to our community to have organizations like yours. So thank you for that. Our next award was created to honor the spirit of entrepreneurial. Our award recipient has received some pretty significant attention lately, not only for his company's accomplishments, but for his innovative creation of an internal pay-for-performance system that has resulted in an increase in production and a decrease in employee turnover at Hometown Products. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screens to hear more from President and co-owner Mark LaMancha.
Hometown Products is a supplier to the metal casting industry with just sand cores and sand molds. When the dark wave of the Great Recession came upon Hometown in 2008, we went from 220 people down to 17 with only 3 left in production. And to navigate through to the shores of profitability again, I knew that I had to reinvent, the team that I serve, and to be able to bring people back and dial the economy back up. I had studied incentive systems before, but I was more after transforming the workplace into a place of performance, to bring in what people enjoy and success in sports into the workplace. So out of that was born what I call now visual earnings, which is a real-time earning technology that's based on patented in the last 18 months payroll technology that actually visualizes in real time the labor portion of any manufacturing part and shows it to the team member on the screen, allowing them to engage their skill and their performance and take that labor portion and be able to take that to much higher levels. I know that on its initial application, when we put it in at that time, back in 2008, when our rate was more around $10 an hour, they took their pay rate from $10 up to $22 an hour by being able to engage in this technology. It's just giving people an opportunity to have a field of success like people that play football or any other sport, and walk away with combining skill and performance and using technology to create engagement, because engagement's really going to be the fuel of the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our 2019 Entrepreneur of the Year, Mark LaMancha.
I just so appreciate how much each one of you going out of your way to come here today and celebrate the success not of one, but of all the businesses in Mahoning County. Such an amazing place and growing to be the greatest renaissance in the state of Ohio. I am so appreciative of my friends and my family and my hometown family being here today. I have 3 challenges for myself and everyone. But first, let me address my acceptance. I'm grateful and thank you for the recognition. However, just like all of the other award winners here today, there's a group effort at home, at work, and throughout the community that makes us all successful. For me, success begins with my family, my wonderful wife, Sherry, who is here with me today, for her patience and support in long endeavors, and my sons, of whom Brandon is here today, who believed in me and who has gone across the country presenting the innovations on various occasions. And for me, success continues with my work family, dedicated team members, as well as inspirational coaches, of whom are here with me today, Brian and Zach, along with Dave, who takes his programming skills and brings to life the operating system to make my saying, success is when vision meets reality. For me, success culminates in a community. The Youngstown-Warren Regional Chamber, the Youngstown Business Incubator, Youngstown State University, America Makes, Columbiana County Port Authority, Columbiana County officials, the Village of Columbiana and of Latonia, and for many, many other organizations and individuals who make the entire region, not just hometown products, but everything from Lake Erie to the Ohio River, a great place to do business. I look at challenges as opportunities for improvement and appreciate all the positive people that have come into my life to see the glass not half full, but overflowing. The first challenge to myself and everyone here is how to put family first. Even when there have been challenging times in our business, it is our attitude towards how important family is that will bring us back when the challenges in life and business prevail. There's no award, no amount of recognition, no profit margin as valuable as the relationships with family. The second challenge to myself and everyone here is to treat your workers or coworkers with the respect that they deserve. In fact, at Hometown, we don't have employees or workers. We have industrial athletes, production support, and amazing coaches. Prior to actively working on our manufacturing team culture, we were over 70% in turnover. And as we began to work on our culture, we were able to reduce that to less than 10% and double our profits in the same time period. More important, our culture has greatly improved. It is more important to build a positive culture with IP, which is intentional purpose, than IT in a company. The third challenge to myself and everyone here is to embrace the culture changes that are occurring in this community. Never before have I seen the Mahoning Valley working so well together. The Chamber, the Incubator, YSU, America Makes, the Tech Belt Energy Innovation Center in Warren, and many others all share in Youngstown's success. Hometown's success, the Mahoning River success, and our military installations, and the success of additive manufacturing. And never before have I seen the collaboration extend so well into Columbiana County, the place I call home and the place where my family and companies are located. Join us as we all work together, public, private, and nonprofit, Ashtabula, Trumbull, Mahoning, and Columbiana counties, to make this the best place to live, learn, and work together and play. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark, for great examples of resilience, innovation, teamwork, all things that we need to continue to move the Valley forward. And once again, just some great examples there. So we'll move on to our next award, Small Business Professionals of the Year. We present to 3 individuals who, with their years of unique experience and collectively changing the face and dynamics of a long-time and successful furniture business in North Lima. Listen in as Sheely's Furniture and Appliances co-owners, Jeff Curry, Lance Romeo, and Jessica Smith tell us how.
My grandfather, Dale Sheely Sr., actually founded the business in 1952, and I've grown up, dusting furniture and washing Sheely's trucks with him talking about how much he loves the business, and all 6 of his children obviously being involved in the business, and then of course the 3rd generation now being involved as well.
I started right out of high school, making $4.50 an hour, started painting the side of the building, the new section of the bedroom section that they just added on.
I started here in 2012 as general manager. I was with Sears for a long time, and I lived two miles from the store, and they were going through transitions at that time with Kmart, and I just sort of wanted to get off the road, and the general manager position opened up, and I got hired. I think what drew me in was the family, the Sheely family, and the team that was in place. We have veteran, seasoned employees up to 47 years of service that's still working with us today, and they really train the new hires coming in, and I think it was really the people that attracted me to Sheely's.
Everyone that has had any part in the store prior to myself laid such great groundwork and foundation that it's easy to take those things and move forward and stay on a path to be in a good direction for multiple generations to come as well. But there's always, with every generation, a new concept and fresh ideas. When we took over a year ago or so, we didn't even really know where to start. So we kind of had to sit down and map out a plan and just take one day at a time and try and focus on the most important things that we wanted to do. And we accomplished a lot of those within the last year. We redid our mattress gallery. Lance had an idea to create an all solid hardwood Amish gallery. It's all made in Ohio, so that's up and running now. So lots of exciting things also to come in the next few years.
It's always been just a solid company. I mean, it amazes me every day. I come here and I see all the blue trucks pulling out of here in every which direction. And it's been like that forever. And Jeff, Jess, and I are just going to continue that and do things even better, hopefully, and keep up with the times and keep a family-owned business running, which you don't see too often anymore.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating our Small Business Professionals of the Year, Mr. Jeff Curry, Mr. Lance Romeo, and Jessica Smith.
Good morning. We are so blessed to be here this morning and honored we were not only nominated, but selected as Small Business Owners of the Year. If you had asked any of us a year and a half ago what lay ahead, none of us could have imagined how fortunate we would be to become owners of the store. We will always be grateful for the opportunity we were given by the Sheely family and will continue to strive to make our business better, not only for ourselves, but for our employees and our community. My grandfather, Dale Sheely Sr., grew up on a farm, so hard work and perseverance were no stranger to him. The idea of being successful was not just a dream. With 6 children, it was a necessity. Being a full-time electrician and part-time math teacher, he always had a love for numbers. So with the help of his wife, Alice, he took that love of numbers and turned it into one of the most brilliant business models of all time. Be honest, service what you sell, and sell at the lowest price every day. He could have never guessed when he founded the store all that would change over the course of almost the next 70 years. But he just turned 90 last month, and what will hopefully will never change is that people will always need a place to sit, a place to eat, and a place to lay their heads. As new owners, this year was both exciting and daunting. We had so many things we wanted to accomplish. We wanted to rebrand ourselves with a fresh new advertising campaign being more lifestyle-oriented. We wanted to let people know we truly have something for everyone, no matter what it is you're looking for. We brought in new vendors and reset our floor. We introduced e-commerce and are currently selling appliances online, with furniture and mattresses to soon follow. We opened our new mattress gallery, as well as our new Ohio-made hardwood Amish gallery. We helped establish the Dale Sheely Senior STEM Scholarship Award. We created an ongoing charity drive that our own community selects through social media. And we do these things while keeping the core values that have worked for us for the past 66 plus years. We have personal goals, but more importantly, we want to give back to the community to make it a better place. And although the 3 of us may be the boots on the ground, so to speak, we could not do what we do without the support of the additional original owners, Carol Colkett, Cheryl Eaton, Kathy Einseidel, Cindy Oliver, and Dane Sheely Sr. In addition, the store would not have begun nor continued to be successful without its backbone of 150 employees, many of which are here today, and its loyal customers. We are humbled by this acknowledgement, and we know that we have a long course ahead of us in order to grow the foundation laid before us. But we are eager and excited to begin that challenge. Thank you again to the Chamber.
Thank you so much, Jessica, Jeff, and Lance, and some great examples of reinventing yourselves, great examples of keeping a focus on service and community. Congratulations on your success and best wishes for the many, many years to come. Our next award, Salute to Labor Achievement, honors individuals or groups that exemplify the spirit of today's cooperative labor management environment and/or positively enhances the economic vitality of the Mahoning Valley through education, leadership, and volunteerism. The Western Reserve Building Trades and Regional Chamber partnered over a decade ago to create and present this special award. We are proud to recognize an individual that we feel has been more than an asset to his trade, as he is an asset to our entire community. In his retirement, he has been using his talents of listening to and caring for others to support the mission of the United Way of Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley. Please turn your attention to the screens one last time to meet Billy Keel, AFL-CIO Labor Liaison.
I'm a bridge between labor and United Way. If United Way has an issue with labor or a business that's a union business, and that's sort of my forte. I take and help get them in there so they can talk to them as far as campaigns and stuff. My other position is I'm a community service person. So I do like the wheelchair ramps, the bus passes, the food vouchers, stuff like that. I say I'm gonna give out bus passes. I give them out the first of the month. And I get here normally at 8 o'clock. We start at 8:45. So I tell them I'm gonna give bus passes out at 8 o'clock. I get here at 6:30 and I got people lined up already for bus passes. a call will come in, or one of our union brothers and sisters will get to me as far as needing a wheelchair ramp for an individual. And then I'll get volunteers from my building trades and our union counselors, and we'll go out and build a ramp in a day. You know, it's kind of rewarding. I feel in my career I've been blessed. You know, I got out of high school when I was 17. I joined the Marine Corps. I was six years in the Marine Corps. Come out, joined the Painters Union. What a great organization, you know, that is. I moved up into become a business agent, and at that time I became a person with the building trades, and I think the building trades is a great organization. You know, they look out for, like I said, 8,000 people in this valley, you know, trying to get them jobs and everything to keep them working. And then from there, you know, I went to work. They pushed me right into the United Way, which is another great organization. So I guess what I'd like to say is I've been blessed, you know, working for great people and great organizations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in acknowledging our Salute to Labor Achievement Award awardee for 2019, Mr. Billy Keel.
Well, first I'd like to thank the Chamber for giving me this award and the building trades for nominating me for it. That guy just took my whole speech. I've been, like I said, I've been blessed. I've been fortunate. I've worked with a lot of great organizations, from the Marine Corps to the Painters Union to becoming a business agent and being involved with the Western Reserve Building Trades. Something that I'd said there that I'd like to say again is that these guys at this table right here, they represent 8,000 people in the valley. They go to work every day to take and make sure that they have work. They've been great to me. From there, I retired, and these guys kind of strong-armed me and said, we need you to be labor liaison at United Way. So they took me up and I met Bob, and at that point I became liaison. United Way does so much great work in the valley. You know, you only are good as your word, and I don't like to put my name out unless it's good. And I told everybody, you know, I'm not there unless it's good. United Way, they service so many different agencies and in the school systems and stuff that they're working with their Success After 6 programs and their Success by 6. I asked for a number from Roxanne. And Roxanne, I said, how many people does United Way touch in a year? And she told me on our brochures and stuff, they said that they touch over 200,000 people in the valley a year. What a great organization. Bob only has 13 people on his staff. You know, to touch that many people, that just tells you that they're working hard with your money and the support that you give them. So with that, I'd just like to thank the Chamber again for giving me this award, and I'd like to thank the Building Trades for nominating me, and I'd like to thank my wife for putting up with me and letting me do what I do. So I'd like to thank you very much.
Thank you again, Billy, and your work certainly has been impactful in the valley, and it goes to show even when we retire maybe from a job, we never really retire from our vocation. So once again, just thank you for all that you do. Can we give one last round of applause for all our awardees today? And I'd like to thank all of them and also all the individuals in this room for just the ongoing dedication to the valley and once again all the efforts to continue the improvements and growth that we've seen. So now I'd like to call up to the podium James Dingham, who will introduce our keynote speaker.
Well, good morning. Thank you, everyone, for coming. This is a great show, and thank you to all of our award winners. It's amazing to see this group of folks that we have here and in the Mahoning Valley, the great things that are going on. And this is just a snapshot of some of those things, but these folks are leading from the front and doing what we can. This morning, it's my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. Mike has visited our valley many times over the years, and on the campaign trail, we had some questions for him, and he's standing by, and he's here and helping out. Today marks the first time he's here in front of our members as your governor since taking office earlier this year. But don't let that fool you. Allow me to spend a couple minutes this morning to share with you how Governor DeWine and his staff have been supporting and rallying for the Youngstown-Warren region for quite some time. Earlier this summer, the governor signed the operating budget, including more than $4 million of direct impact for Youngstown-Warren regional priorities, comprising of the Mahoning River, additive manufacturing, next-gen manufacturing, and of course, support for our military installations. He also supported, and really was the first thing the lieutenant governor and governor did 2 days after taking the oath of office, supporting our Drive It Home campaign in the GM Lordstown and going up to Detroit and meeting with the GM CEO, Mary Barra, and advocating on behalf of our community and trying to get some decisions out of GM. He's also been a vocal advocate in working with the Trump administration in support of the missile defense system and selecting a site out at Camp Garfield. On November 6th last year, Mike DeWine was elected to serve as the 70th governor of our state of Ohio. Of course, he's had a long and distinguished career in public service, focusing on protecting Ohio's children and families. He was previously the 50th Attorney General and has held the positions of Greene County Prosecutor, State Senator, U.S. Congressman, Lieutenant Governor, U.S. Senator. Did I miss any? I think we got them all. So he's ticked them all off. Now we've got him up here as our CEO and executive of the state of Ohio, working on behalf of you and our community. The governor's priorities today include Innovate Ohio, an interesting initiative to lead an aggressive, innovative path towards a better and stronger state. Also, the Common Sense State Initiative that reviews business impacting rules and helps businesses navigate regulatory obstacles and leading initiatives to improve Ohio's regulatory climate and state budget. So now the fun part. We were talking last night. I thought I had most of this, but I had to change my last number here. Governor DeWine was raised in Yellow Springs, Ohio. He and Fran Strewing met in the first grade. This was something I didn't realize. And married while students at Miami University. And they've been blessed with 8 children. And I had 23 children, but he corrected me last night, said it's 24 children, or grandchildren, sorry. So we're growing. Hopefully it wasn't the latter. But ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to our Governor, Mike DeWine.
Thank you all. Please sit down. Thank you. Thank you very much. James, that always gets people's attention. You say 24 grandkids, you know, it gets them, they say, oh, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Well, it is great to be with all of you. Good morning. Let me just first congratulate all the recipients. Wow, what inspiring people. Billy, thank you for what you and your union brothers and sisters do to build the ramps and do all those things. That's just a great giving back to the community. Bridget, I love the term radical compassion. I'm not sure I'd quite heard that before, but I love it because it has the passion behind it. Ursuline Sisters and I actually worked on some things together when I was in the United States Senate. So I have some knowledge of all the great things that you all do. And for the rest of the recipients, as I was listening to the recounting of what everyone does, and then I saw them come up to the podium and talk about and really express their passion for their business, passion for what they do every single day. I was reminded of my grandparents and my parents. We had a family-owned seed business for a small company, probably never more than 25 employees, but my grandparents literally could not wait to get to work in the morning. My dad and my mother were the same way. Small business, they had a great passion for it. They loved what they did and made things happen. So the group of honorees today all share a lot of different things, but one thing is passion. Their group, this group, and I know other honorees in the past, are the people who really have made the Valley what it is, kind of heart and soul. So I salute you. I'm honored to be on the same podium with all of you today. Mark, I think, said it very, very well. Mahoning Valley, a great renaissance, a great, great renaissance. He also talked about coming together. I'm very optimistic about the future of the Mahoning Valley. As you've heard, I've been here many, many times over the years. I think this is the third time I've actually been in Mahoning Valley since I was sworn in on January 14th. The Chamber also came out to Columbus, had the opportunity to meet with a number of them. So I've followed what's going on. And I've never seen this valley as united and people coming together. The business community, the labor community, the public officials, the county commissioners, mayors, other elected officials. So that is really what is very important. It's been very, very important to me, and frankly makes my job a lot easier when we have people coming together and listing what their priorities are. We live in a kind of a unique state. We may not realize that, but first of all, we're a state of city-states. We're a state that one part of the state does not necessarily visit other parts of the state. At the same time, we're a state of very focus, and I think this is correct, and I love it, but focus on local government. So each community, each area, defining what their priorities are, coming together to fight for those priorities, to make it clear to the legislature. And by the way, you've got a great legislative team. Some of them they're here today, Republican, Democrat, but they're focused on the Valley. They're focused on jobs, and that's what I really like in working with them. We do this in a nonpartisan, bipartisan way, because the issues that we face in the Valley are really not partisan issues. Focus on jobs, focus on education, focus on moving the Valley forward. So I'm very, very optimistic about what I'm seeing as the community comes together. And as I said, my job really is to be your good partner, to try to listen. I can't set your priorities. You have to set the priorities. But to listen and to work with the leadership of the Valley to do what we can to be good partners. I'm optimistic for a number of reasons. As said, number one, people coming together. But there's so many good things going on. I'll just mention a couple of them. Jim Tressel last night was telling me their entering class is really the most talented group of incoming students at Youngstown State in Youngstown State's history. That bodes well. It bodes well for where we're going to go in the future. The shale play that's going on in eastern Ohio is going to ultimately have a significant impact on the Mahoning Valley. The cracker plant that's going to go in Belmont County. If you project the future, you're going to see companies that are going to spring up throughout this entire region. Look at the military assets that we have. Ohio has a number of military assets, and one of the things that I did after I became governor is I said, look, we have not, at the state level at least, focused enough on the great assets that we have as far as the military. And so I got someone who I've known for a while, someone who's a real expert in this area, Joe Z's. Some of you may have had the opportunity to meet him when he has been out here, but to focus on our military installations in Ohio. Youngstown Air Reserve Station, very, very, very significant, a great asset. Camp Garfield, a great asset. And both of those we have to take care of. Both of those we have to continue to build up and be cognizant of what they do, and frankly cognizant of what their needs are. Let me speak for a moment about the GM plant at Lordstown. I always get questions about that. It's very understandable. I was on Dan Rivers' show this morning. He was asking me about it. And let me just, again, make it very, very clear. This is vitally important to Ohio. It is vitally important to the Mahoning Valley. I don't have to tell anybody in this room about that. We stand ready as a state, and we made this very clear to General Motors. We stand ready. If they want to put new product in there, we would love to help them, and we will come forward and we will help them through Jobs Ohio, which is the economic development arm now of the state. If that's not going to happen, we've made it clear to other companies that are looking at coming in that, again, we want to play a major role. We want to be helpful. We want to be more than helpful. We want to be out there and working with them. So we've made this very, very clear. Some of this is, frankly, beyond our control, beyond your control. As different companies look at this and they go out and try to raise the money that they need to make this happen. So I'm cautiously optimistic about where we're going from there. But my commitment to you is the state will play its role. We will be the good partners, and we will do everything we can to assist whoever is going to go in there. Let me talk for a moment about the last 7.5 months, I guess. I took office on January 14th. The first thing we had to face, frankly, was a kind of a surprise, and that was the situation that we were in regard to our highways and the highway fund and the revenue. I want to thank the Chamber. I want to thank many of you who were out front and helped us do what we needed to do to get a good highway bill passed that's going to enable us to build into the future for the next few years. Infrastructure is vitally important. If you do not have infrastructure in a state, other good things simply do not happen. And so I knew that this was vitally important, and I knew, frankly, we had to get it behind us. We had to get moving because while it was tough sometimes to explain to people the cliff we were about to go over, I was looking at the numbers, and the numbers were quite grim. So that is dealt with. Again, I thank the Chamber for your support and your help in regard to that. We proposed a budget to the General Assembly. The General Assembly passed a budget where they really kept essentially the priorities that I had laid out. And I like to think that that's because there really is a consensus in the state about what our priorities should be. And again, we had help from both sides of the aisle. We had help from every part of the state in getting this passed. And let me just mention a few of the things that are in that budget that we are now starting to operate under. First of all, one of the things that we have learned in the last few years, and it's really been driven home to us, is how important the first 5 years are of a child's life. We see children showing up for kindergarten who are simply not ready. We see kids showing up for kindergarten throughout Ohio who have half the vocabulary maybe of other kids in their school. Or in their kindergarten. And that's no fault of their own, it's just the circumstances that they find themselves in. So getting those kids ready, giving them that early start is very, very important. And the budget that we passed has more investment in early childhood education than we've ever had before. Lead paint continues to be a problem, particularly in some of our urban areas. We're focusing on that through our health department. We put some real money in the budget to work on that. My wife Fran sends her regards to all of you. She balances being First Lady and 7 children and 24 grandkids, and she does a phenomenal job. But I want to mention something that I know if she was here she would mention because we need help on this as well, and that is Fran wants to bring what's called the Imagination Library to Ohio. This is something that was started by Dolly Parton in Tennessee a number of years ago, and the whole idea is to get every kid, 0 to 5, to get one new book in the mail, in their home every single month. It's a program that works exceedingly well. Where it has been used, we've seen just by doing that alone, we've seen kindergarten readiness go up rather dramatically. So we're able, with the help of the state legislature, to get some money in the budget to start that. We've created a nonprofit. We're raising money statewide from businesses and others to do that. But it's really is a very locally focused because the model that we're using, that we were actually copying from what they did in Tennessee and North Carolina and other states, is really a local community, local Rotary Club, local business, helping to come up with a 50% match. This is an amazing program that has amazing results, and they've got it down so that it's very efficient. $2.10 per book is what it costs. So basically, for $25, you get that child gets a book every single month. So if any of you are interested in partnering with us, or Rotary Club, or any group, we would just absolutely love to get your help. I want to introduce Lizzie Goodwin, who is my district rep. Lizzie is somewhere out there. Anybody is interested in helping us, talk to Lizzie, but I wanted to also introduce her. She's been with me for a long, long time. The 8 years that I was in as Attorney General, and before that in the United States Senate. She's the district representative, my district representative for this part of the state. Let me mention a couple other things that we put in our budget that I think are significant, and over the next several years are going to have a real impact. As I travel around the state, one of the things I've heard time and time again from teachers, and it really doesn't matter what part of the state I'm in, whether it's an urban area, rural area, suburban, teachers will say, look, I can teach kids can learn, but it's what's happening in that child's life outside the classroom, outside the school, that is getting in the way of my ability to teach children. And so we listen to that. And we put in our budget, the budget the legislature passed, $675 million over 2 years, set aside for what we call wraparound services, to provide this money to every school district in the state of Ohio that they can use specifically to get mental health services to kids. We have, for a number of reasons, whatever reasons, really a epidemic of mental health problems among young people today. Suicide rate is just staggering, and we need to get that mental health into our classrooms and identify students who need help, and maybe medical care help, maybe other help. But schools have the flexibility to use that within that area to make a difference, and we think that will, in the long run, really help. Another major provision, and something, of course, that we have been wrestling with here in Ohio and grappling with, is our opiate epidemic, our drug epidemic in the state. Our budget has more money to help people earlier on as far as treatment, more money in regard to law enforcement. But probably the most important thing, candidly, is prevention. If we can prevent a child from going down the pathway of addiction, not just opiates, but any kind of addiction, that's the best way to go, by far. It is the most cost-effective thing that we can do. So we're doing something now. We're getting ready to start something in Ohio that's never been done before in Ohio, and that is every grade, K through 12, every child, every school in the state will have more focus on what is called social emotional learning, basically making good decisions, how you resist the temptation that kids are faced with to go down a pathway of addiction and drugs. We know this works. We know that the statistics show that you can significantly, over a period of time, reduce the number of kids who go down the pathway to addiction. And again, that we are doing that. Let me close by talking for a moment about what happened in Dayton several weeks ago on a Sunday, early in the morning, about 1 a.m. in the morning. Tragedy, something that every mayor dreads, every governor dreads, every community dreads, and that is that you have a mass shooting. I got over there that morning. I'm an old prosecutor. I've seen crime scenes before, but this was just something that I had frankly never seen before. When Fran and I Went there with Mayor Nan Whaley. She took us to the scene. The blood was still there. It was just a horrendous thing to see. Huge impact on those families. One mom who was killed left a 2-month-old baby, and frankly, I'll never forget looking at the dad holding that baby during the funeral service, and just thinking that baby will never know its mom. Just very, very, very tough. 2 days later, I made proposals to the General Assembly. 17 points that I believe we cannot ever guarantee that we will not have tragedies like that. No one can guarantee that. But what I can say is the 17 points, I'm not going to go through them all today, and we'll talk about a couple of them, but the 17 points that we put forward and that I proposed to the General Assembly, I know that each and every one of them will make a difference. Each and every one of them will save lives. Each and every one of them we have the possibility of passing in the legislature, and each and every one of them passes constitutional muster. And let me just talk about a couple of them. The first is something we're already starting to do, and I talked about that, and that's the wraparound services and the mental health. Being able to identify kids who have problems early on is absolutely essential. If you look at the mass shootings and you look at the history, what you will find is that in virtually every case, there was early warning signs with that person. Sometimes as early as grade school, sometimes as early as, many times as early as high school. And again, being able to identify those problems and trying to get some assistance to that individual early on is absolutely vitally important. A second thing I'd like to talk about is what we're calling personal protection orders. The news media refers to this as red flag. We don't sort of like to use that term. But it's really to deal with the problem that we find in every community to some extent. And that is there's somebody in the community or there's somebody in a family that the people in that family are concerned about. They're concerned about them because they have a mental health problem. They're concerned about them because they're an alcoholic, they're a drug addict. They're concerned about them because they have a propensity to violence. And added to all that, they have guns. Many times people say, well, somebody should do something about that. Well, when I became governor, I became somebody. And my goal is to try to set up a procedure with the help of the General Assembly so that we can deal with that type situation in a constitutional way where we protect due process, we protect the Second Amendment, we protect the individual's rights. So we've come forward with a proposal, and we're still working on the language, but we'll be presenting this to the General Assembly where any family member, and usually, frankly, this comes from a family member, who knows there's something going on and there's a real danger, that this individual is a danger to themselves, and that's usually the case, more than anything else. They're a danger to themselves or they're a danger to others. And so we have a language that would say that when a family member knows that or the police know that they can go into court, the person has to be brought into court, they have to be served, they have to have a right to appear, and then a judge will make a determination based on the evidence whether or not that is a situation where, at least for a brief period of time, sometimes longer, that person has to be separated from the guns that they have. We've worked very closely with our friends in the Second Amendment community and make sure that we have the right language. If we pass this in Ohio, it will be more due process than any other state that has done this. 17 states have done it. Most of them allow guns to be taken right away. We do not. We say there has to be due process. There has to be a court procedure to go through. So again, more facts will be coming out, and we'll be getting language to the General Assembly about that. Let me mention two other areas. While we mourn the people who were killed in the mass shooting in Dayton, the reality is that in our cities and in other areas across the state, every week we are seeing innocent people who are killed. Innocent people are killed by criminals who have guns, who have no right to have guns. Under Ohio law today, if someone is a violent offender, they have been convicted of a crime of violence, they no longer are allowed to have a gun. The vast, vast majority of our violent crime in this state and across the country is committed by a small number of the criminal element. And the ability of the local police to be able to target those individuals and when they mess up, get them out of the community is really the most effective thing that we can do to make our streets safer, our communities more livable. And so we have a proposal to the General Assembly to significantly increase the penalties for people who are, again, have been convicted of a violent offense, sometimes more than once, and who are found in possession of a gun. If we can up these penalties, we will be able to give a tool to local prosecutors, to local police, local communities, to be able to remove the most violent members of our society and the people who cause most of the tragedies. We read every year in communities where a 5-year-old or 7-year-old or 10-year-old is shot because there's someone who had a gun who wasn't legally allowed to have a gun because they were a convicted felon of a violent crime and they were shooting and something was going on and there's a totally innocent child is killed. So this is, again, something that we can do that will protect the community. The last item I want to talk about is, again, part of our 17-point proposal. And I think that this will probably come as a shock to you, but let me give you some statistics. There's today about 500,000 outstanding criminal warrants in the state of Ohio that are unserved. In other words, they're warrants for someone's arrest that have not been served. That person has either not been found, that person fled the area, or for some reason they're still outstanding. It should come as a shock, I think, to you that less than half of these are entered into a statewide data system. So what that means is in the majority of those cases, if someone goes outside their county and gets picked up, the police in the other county have no idea they have an outstanding warrant against them. If they leave the state, only out of that 500,000 warrants, only 18,000 have been put into the national database. So that means they basically are free once they cross the state lines. And of course, in Mahoning Valley, they don't have to go too far to cross the state line. We're going to change that. Again, that's part of our 17-point proposal. We would mandate that these protection orders would have to be, we would mandate that these arrest warrants would have to be put into a national database as well as a state database. It may sound simple. It may not sound important, but it's vitally important that particularly violent offenders, that their warrants get into a database. What does this have to do with the Dayton tragedy? It has to do with it simply because this comes under the category of how do we protect our citizens. The government does a lot of different things, and people can argue what we should be doing or not doing. But the essential function of government is to protect the community. And so the proposals that we have put forward and that we are asking the General Assembly to pass will do that and will go a long way to make our communities safer. So I would ask you to reach out to your members of the General Assembly and talk to them about this. This is a bipartisan proposal. It is something that we hope that all members of the General Assembly can get behind. It won't guarantee that we won't ever have future tragedies, but what I will guarantee you, each one of these have been well thought out, and each one of these will, in fact, make a big difference. Let me again congratulate the recipients. It's very inspiring, frankly, to listen to them and watch the videos, but also to see them up here, and you could just see the passion in their voices and their eyes as they talked about what they do. You're the folks that make the Valley great. You're the folks that make Ohio great. So I salute the honorees. I will tell you that I enjoy working with the Chamber. I've worked with the Chamber for many, many years. You have great leadership. The fact that early in the morning you can get this many people together is a real testament to the community. I am now off to the fair and looking forward. Our Canfield Fair folks have probably already left, getting ready to go out there. I had the chance to talk to some members of the board, but as I travel around the state, I try to tell people about the Canfield Fair, and I just, no one can quite understand it, how big it is, how amazing it is. We're all kind of used to local county fairs, but when you go into the Canfield Fair, it really kind of blows you away. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and looking forward to coming back and visiting with you many times in the future. And probably even more importantly, looking forward to continuing to work together with you for the betterment of the Mahoning Valley. So thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Governor. It's an honor to have you here and off to the 173rd Canfield Fair, and I know many of you are headed that way. I want to thank everyone for coming. Our sponsors, Western Reserve Building Trades and PNC, thank you for your long partnership. It means a lot. For the award winners, you have your nice plaques and gifts over here. Come over and take a look. For those of you that have a moment, please come up and get a chance to meet them. Also have a proclamation from the governor and from State Senator Mike Ruley. I wanted to recognize some of the elected officials we have here. We have the entire Trumbull County and Mahoning County commissioners. All 6 are here. If you get an opportunity, come up and talk to them. We had State Auditor Keith Faber. I think he snuck out. He's over here. You get a chance to speak with him. Representative Gil Blair, State Senator Sean O'Brien, Mayor Tito Brown. If we have any other local elected officials or those that are candidates for office, please stand up or wave your hand. You get a chance, get out and speak to them. So that brings a close to our festivities today. Hope to see you out at the fair this weekend. Enjoy the beautiful weather in the Mahoning Valley. And thanks for coming. We'll see you next time.